Who doesn't love a good hero review? Greetings, loyal minions, traitorous fiends, friends and haters. Welcome back to the SciShow, the number one ranked YouTube channel for retro video games. If you're into retro video games, I appreciate you. And that gets us on to Tealmoine. Tealmoine, look, whatever. He's actually given me, is it Raiden from Mortal Kombat vibes? Maybe it's just a hat, I don't know. Um, excuse me, but yeah, giving off those sort of vibes. He is the newest member of the Moth family. The Alliance quest is back, and we have a new hero to celebrate. Let's jump straight in and have a look. I may actually do some pulls, as I do have a few tokens, so keep an eye out for that. Also have a huge birthday summons video coming tomorrow, so definitely keep an eye out for that if you're into summons. There's some fantastic results. Tealmoine is what I'm going with. Is a monk, so therefore gets the chance to resist status ailments, as we can read there. Has the Bulwark Aether talent, so gets some extra defense. I'll turn those off. Stats are looking good. Power 1169. I believe some of the recent ones are 1170, so slight step backwards. Obviously, it's just a matter of when they've planned them to come out. But stats, yep, looking pretty good. Attacks may be a touch low. So that'll be interesting to see what his special skill is. Has the Moth family bonus for 1, 2, 3 heroes at the start of each turn. Cast Moth Dust to a random enemy for 2, 3, or 4 turns. And that Moth Dust gives minus 10% mana generation. If it's cleansed or removed, the target falls asleep and receives 60% increased damage while sleeping. So that's really good. We have just seen in the Equalizer War that effect does trigger when the Moth Dust is removed. So it makes them extra good for the Equalizer War. And it's quite fantastic in general. If you've got, 2 or 3 of those heroes on your team and they're all giving that Moth Dust to random enemies, it is an absolute pain in the buttocks. Has a passive of 10% chance to dodge special skills that deal damage. So that's pretty handy as well. Keeps him alive a bit longer. We are moving on to the special, which is Bizarre Mist. Runs at fast speed, which is nice. Steals all dispellable buffs from the target. So it only sounds like it's hitting 1 or targeting 1. And randomly distributes them on allies. Target falls into deep sleep and receives plus 80% increased damage while in deep sleep. What is deep sleep? The character in deep sleep cannot gain mana or attack. The character in deep sleep is woken once it takes 500 damage. This effect is uncleansable. That's nice, and he's recovering 30% for all allies. Interesting. Deep sleep. Sounds good. He's interesting because it's a healer. So, but then you're putting someone to deep sleep. Now, the deep sleep plus 80% damage. So, pretty good hero. I don't think that's overpowered at all, but it's nice to have something different that's simple to understand. Just thinking of ways to use that, though. So, you're obviously going to target someone to put them to sleep. It kind of similar to what you would have done with ghosting someone, basically. So my only issue is once you put them to sleep, if you don't hit them at all, they're going to stay sleeping because it can't be cleansed, and it lasts until they take 500 damage. So my way of using this would be to target someone on the enemy team. Just think of a Fergus to start with. The only thing is that to me, it's probably not ideal to be targeting a tank because you're going to give them the damage more easily. Like if you're stuck with only tiles in the middle, but it could still work on the tank. It just gives a bit better chance of waking them up. by doing that damage. So you're going to target someone on the enemy team. It could be, say, Astrid as a reviver, one of the flanks or wings that you are worried about, and you're going to put them to sleep. And then if you play the board right, and I think for that reason, you'd possibly be trying to pair Tealmoine with maybe hit threes, just so you can avoid hitting the person that's asleep. Because, in my opinion, you just want to leave them asleep. It can't be cleansed, so they're just going to sit there the whole time and nothing's going to happen. So if you can do it to the tank, that's fantastic, and then play the board around that. The only downside to me is the fact that they're getting 80% increased damage while they're in deep sleep, because that just means they're going to get to that 500 damage quicker. So, yeah, interesting. I think that would be a great use. As I said, pair it with some hit threes. I mean, I'm just thinking of recent ones like Burton. I mean, he's got insanity. That's a whole different thing. But just some hit three blues, Pofit with the defense down. Then hit. You can basically target one side, and then you've just got someone sitting there asleep until you damage them. So yeah, no, I like that. That's pretty cool. Not overpowered, but I think it will be coming very useful depending on your play style. But if you are setting your teams up right, you can definitely use this guy. On top of that, he's also putting people to sleep once that moth dust. So, very good hero. Yeah, the only downside to me is the increased damage, because it means you can't hit them. If you've got, say, 3 blues on your team, you could have this guy in there as a separate colour. You don't need to pair it with blues specifically, but yeah, I'd say it works best with hit threes. In which case you could use Satin Pimenta straight up. So you could, go with the yellows. But yeah, I think, if you've got 2 or 3 blues and you just, 1 or 2 tiles is going to do that 500 damage when it's plus 80% increased damage. So keep that in mind. Maybe not pair it, or just try to keep those tiles away from who you've cast asleep on. And in my opinion, as I said, the hit threes is probably the best way to do that. There we go. Very good very good hero. If you're doing pulls, best of luck to you. As always, I'm going to jump in and do some because I have some tokens. So let's see what we get. Not expecting anything overly great, but I don't have any mega fiends. So anything with a mega fiend would be good. Doing my live reaction as well, so I'll be pumped if I get something good. Yeah, shit. I'll try not to be too sad if I don't. I have had a very good run with the birthday summons, so I can't complain at all, and I will possibly be taking a break from summoning once you see how many I did during the birthday summons. So absolute junk so far. Hope you're having better luck if you're doing any pulls. Now, we do have the featured Chunky Boy as well, Chunky Roy. He'd be a fantastic addition to my roster. I already do have Satin Pimenta. Slowly getting her leveled. But I would love a mega themed moth. And we're getting absolute junk here. Oh, this is the joy of summoning. I know the odds. The odds aren't great, so I can never complain. Well, I can complain, but there's not really much point. Briar Tucker's got to be one of the worst looking heroes in the game. And we're rounding it out with a Cademan. There we go. Unfortunately, nothing exciting for you, but good hero available. Again, if you're pulling, best of luck. If you do enjoy what I'm doing, consider gently caressing the subscribe button. Give your kitty a scratch for me. Have a good one.